Hey, and welcome back to another video. So in this video, we'll be trying to repair this Galaxy S20 that I got for a mere $50 off OfferUp. Here's the listing as usual. You know on this channel we don't make up stuff, so as usual, here is the listing. You can see it is $50. It came with an OtterBox case as well, a really hard bodied OtterBox case, so that's nice. This phone, the seller said the phone doesn't turn on whatsoever. It actually turns on. I've tested it. The only issue is the display doesn't come on. So there's an issue with the display here, and he's like, there was a drop, but the display went off a few days or weeks or something after it dropped. So not right after it dropped. He could be making that up. It could be directly due to the drop. However, for $50, I'm not complaining. I can sell this thing's board and some other components for way more than $50 if I need to part it out. So a really good deal there. But the first thing we're going to do is try and fix this. Now, Samsungs are known for this issue where the AMOLED just quits for no reason. You don't even have to drop it. They just quit. So it could have been, of course, the drop could have done something to it. And I'm 90% sure the drop was directly the fault there. But it could have just happened on its own. Who knows? But the reason is replacing these displays costs hundreds of dollars. If you want to get a crappy LCD, it's still about $100. And if you want to get an identical AMOLED to Samsung's AMOLED, you're going to have to shell out about $250. So I'm definitely not replacing it because I already got it for real cheap. So we're gonna try and fix this thing in this video. And also speaking of Samsung, I'm recording this on my Galaxy Note 8, as you can see there. That's my Galaxy Note 8. Just kind of an experiment because my iPhone 11 is full. So we'll see how this goes. This thing already has some autofocus issues. These Note 8s did have this autofocus issue, and the audio and video quality are not going to be as nice as the iPhone 11, but this is just an experiment to see how the video goes. So Samsung on Samsung, so that's nice to see. But let me know down in the comments what you think of this audio quality and this video quality as well. And this will have focusing issues, so I apologize for that. Also, before jumping right in, don't forget to smash that like button as always, as it helps this video get on YouTube's algorithm and it shows me that you actually like seeing these videos. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and ring that bell notification button to get notified whenever I upload a new video. I'm on Instagram, Discord, and Twitter, and you can follow me on those using the links down in the description below. And now let's jump right into this video. So first we're going to heat this thing up with a heat gun here, and we're going to loosen the glue, and I'm going to get it off. I might cut some portions out because these Samsung back covers are really hard to take off. So I'm going to fast forward it and I'll be cutting some portions out in the name of time. So let's go. So that took way longer than expected, and it's kind of good that I didn't record everything because I would have run out of space. That was a solid 15 minutes because, I mean, I can go ahead and start ripping stuff out, but then I'm going to damage something, so we do not want to do that. Now, this is the wireless charging coil, and knowing Samsung, even with this Note 8 that I worked on just a few days ago, we do not want to mess this thing up, because if we do, it's gonna start giving you that stupid warning that says your temperature is too low, charging has stopped. That is an issue that Samsung has not fixed. Now that error comes up, some of my subscribers told me that it's a Samsung warning system when there is a fault with the charging system, and that's good if that's the case, but the entire phone should not be crippled by a safeguard system like that, because the phone will not charge if that's the case. And even though the wireless charging coil is not broken, it'll still give you that stupid warning. And that's what was happening with my Note 8, because the expanded battery had stretched the wireless charging pad to a certain extent, and it wasn't seated properly on the board. So yeah, that's a bit annoying. So let's get rid of these screws here. And again, I apologize for not recording the whole thing of me taking the back cover off. It would have taken ages because that was a solid 15 minutes. that obviously it's IP68 water resistance rated, so it's gotta be really tight. So that's, I'm not complaining there, I'm just saying it took a long time. Now let's get rid of these screws and get to the display. So this is the main board. We have it here, and we have the bottom part again, two-piece board. The board is much smaller than the Note 8. Obviously this phone is much newer. So I unplug the battery. Let's press and hold the power button to drain the system, and again I can see that this thing is having trouble autofocusing, and I'm sorry, I apologize for that. I just want to try out all my phones, see which one is an ideal, not a replacement for the iPhone 11, but a good temporary substitute. Well, not an occasional substitute. So I'm just trying out my phones here, because these things are just catching dust, and I don't want them all to just, you know, sit around, and they should serve some purpose on this channel. So I don't know which one is the display. I think this is the display ribbon. This is the digitizer. Oh, is this? Yeah, this is going inside here. Let's just unplug everything I see and replug the stuff in. That's my first attempt. I'm gonna try and unplug and replug, and while we are at it, come on, focus. Yeah, the Note 8 has horrible focusing, so as you can see, it moves around. The camera lenses move around. Those are the optical image stabilization. The upper camera, I think this is the telephoto, that does not have the stabilization. But I'm not an expert on Samsung cameras, so don't quote me on that. So I undid all these cables, press and hold the power button again, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we've unplugged all these cables, pressed the button once, and that's the first attempt I'm gonna try. Now let's replug these connectors in. Now I'm not sure if this is gonna fix the black screen of death. I've tried the button combos and stuff before, and I don't think it's gonna be that easy. So let's power this thing on, see if that made a difference. Jeez, this thing is having so much trouble focusing. It did vibrate. It vibrated once. We're not getting anything yet. Okay, so the phone is turning on, but the display is still not working there. Let me have a closer look at the board again and be right back. So I have a better idea here. I put the phone back together, and before doing that I tried a lot of other things as well, and it did not seem to help. So now I'm gonna flash the thing with the American firmware. I'm not using the international firmware, obviously, so I got the US firmware for the SMG981U model. That is my one, and we're gonna flash it with Odin 3. Now oh, there we go. So those are the files that I'll be using, the MD5 files for this phone, and I'm gonna flash it with Odin, and we'll see what happens. Now I don't have my tripod here, so I can't show you the flashing process, plus it goes into some of my personal files as well when I search for the file. So I'll flash it, and I'll get back to you when I'm done flashing it. As you can see here, Odin is doing its thing. It's flashing the software onto the phone. Now this can fail at any point on this bar-like thing here, so you have to try it a bunch of times. And now here, while this thing is loading, here are some tips for Odin. Two of the more common errors is setup connection, where the thing gets stuck on setup connection. If it gets stuck on setup connection, the things you can do is try a new cable, try a different version or an older version of Odin, or try a different computer, or you've not put it into download mode properly. Now the best example of this is this phone. We can't see the display, so the volume up, volume down method may or may not work properly because you can't see the display. The other way to put this thing on download mode is, if you can't see the display, but remember this combo, go into recovery mode, volume up, power button, wait exactly 2 seconds for it to go into recovery mode, then volume down once, just volume down once, and then power button. That puts it into the reboot kind of thingy. I forgot what that was called, but just do that. That is technically the same as download mode. If you cannot see anything on the display, that's basically what I did. And it's gonna take a while. If that doesn't work, change the version of Odin, change your cable, etc, etc. So I'll let this thing do its thing. It'll take about maybe 20 to 30 minutes, and we'll be right back. Alright, so after about 1.5 weeks of restoring this thing multiple times, and yeah, I'm doing this part of the video about 1.5 weeks later because I was not getting any results, but the channel had to carry on. I had to do other videos, so I kind of kept this on pause, and whenever I had some free time, I kept trying different iterations of the operating system, but it still wouldn't work. The phone, as you can see, it's still on. I turned it on, and the vibrate motor, I'm sorry, this camera does not like flashy screen, like reflective surfaces, so I'm not going to be using the S8, the Note 8 again for video recording. It's just not up to par. I do have another iPhone 11 now, so I'll be doing recordings on that, but for this video, to keep it consistent, I'm still using the Note 8. But as you can see, I don't know if you can hear that, this thing is still on. I don't know if you can hear that on camera. The vibrate motor is it's kicking in, so it's in the setup screen. The Google account lock is probably there because I restored it. Basically, it counts as resetting, so the Google lock is there. I gotta bypass that later if I do get this working. But here's the deal: I don't want to spend $98 or $100 for a crappy LCD replacement, or if I want a really good AMOLED replacement, I have to shell out like $250 because AMOLEDs for these things are not cheap. So as to not make this video too long, I'm going to cut off part 1 here, and in part 2 we're going to take this thing apart a bit more, and like we're just going to leave the AMOLED and we're going to start messing with it with a heat gun, and we're going to try and force it into working. There's no other choice. I've tried every other option in the book, so there's no other choice other than trying to force it into work. It could damage it even further because you're not supposed to heat up AMOLEDs too much, but hey, it's already broken, so why not try? I'm just not spending $250 on a phone that I just spent $50. That kind of beats the purpose of a really good deal. And in the meantime, this thing was supposed to be my new video recorder for my channel, but as you may have seen in my other videos, I got another iPhone 11 for a mere $60, unlocked, iCloud free, everything. So that nothing beats that deal. So if this ends up working, we might do another third camera angle, but I doubt it. This might work. I don't know. But anyway, I just want to use the rest of this time here to show you. Now you see the damage here, right? You see that this is somewhat of a rant, and if you're a hardcore Samsung fan, you're going to be pissed, but this is the reality of things. This is the damage. Right now the seller said this thing went off after the damage, like the damage was irrelevant to the phone stopping working, but I'm pretty sure he could have lied there, but I don't really care. It was just $50 or whatever. So the damage maybe is related to the display not working, but then explain to me this. This thing is my best friend's Motorola X second generation, Moto X second generation. He gave this to me a few years back because he didn't need it. This thing, he accidentally stood on this phone. And as you can see, this thing is damaged to all hell. He stood on this. He dropped it and he accidentally stepped on it. He kind of fell over. And the AMOLED on this thing still works perfectly. There's nothing. I'm actually going to do a glass only repair on this. As you can see, again with this camera, it doesn't like reflective surfaces, but there's nothing wrong with the AMOLED. It's perfect. I cannot get a white screen here. Hold up, so you can see much better. Let me put on a white screen and show you. Alright, so there we are. So as you can see, there's no damage to the AMOLED. It works perfectly. There's no image burn either. So what is Samsung doing here? If old Motorola's like this can survive such damage, this small bit of crack there, seriously? And further, since it took a bit longer for me to complete this video, in the meantime I got an LG Wing for a mere $27 plus another phone, an LG Aristo 2. I'm having trouble bypassing the Google lock on this thing. However, as you can see, it is also really damaged over here. I can touch the LCD. The glass is completely gone. Well, not the LCD, the AMOLED. I can touch the AMOLED, as you can see. I don't know whether this thing will focus if I bring it closer. Yeah, that's as close as I can get. I can touch the AMOLED. The glass is completely gone, but it still works. The AMOLED hasn't stopped working. It works perfectly, as you can see here. I just can't get this thing to bypass because of LG's lock system there, the Google on Android 10 bypass. I have to figure that out separately. It's very confusing. Tried all the methods, and that's an upcoming video. So, really, Samsung? Really? I'm pretty sure, though, the seller said this has nothing to do with this thing going off. After thinking about it a bit, yeah, this probably has something to do. So anyway, in part 2, we're going to take this thing apart entirely, and we're going to try and fix it by heating it up. We might destroy it even further, but hey, we got nothing to lose. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for part 2 by hitting that subscribe button down below and ringing that bell notification button so you get notified whenever I upload a new video, including part 2. Leave a big thumbs up on this video as well. Check out my social media down in the description below, and I'll see you guys in my next video.